Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back here at Wennington Speed and Metal again today in the shop, and as promised, I'm bringing you up to speed on the 67 Camaro project. We've been working on the floors. We were surprised when we pulled the carpet up to see how bad these floors actually were. If you didn't see these floors prior to this video, go back, check out the previous videos down below here. You'll see what happened when we pulled the carpet up. We found out that this car was an ex-drag car, and it was pretty hacked up. So we're getting the customer back on track here, getting him some new floors. It's not a Flintstone mobile anymore. So anyhow, with that said, let's take a look at the car. The last video you guys looked at, we talked about the floor pans here on the passenger side. They were not cut out. We went ahead and cut all that out, went ahead and put these in. Again, there's many different ways of doing this, and I know some people might have put a complete floor pan in this. Some of them may have done, just a patch job, but this is what the customer and I had discussed and what they want to do. We are going to move forward to the transmission tunnel here. This section right in here, we're going to cut this out. We have a used piece, but we're going to get that cut out right there, and we're going to get that cleaned up. I'll walk around the other side of the car and show you what we're dealing with. Again, in the previous videos, we found this. It had a little bit of aluminum, real thin aluminum over it. But sometimes you got to make do with what you have. And I completely understand it. I've been there. We did get some other parts in. We do have the seat support pans put in here. Well, they're setting in here. They're not screwed in yet. And when I say screwed in, I don't want people to think that I'm screwing these floor pans in. These pans will be plug welded and welded around solid. Again, there's different ways of doing that. It's just the way I like to do it. I like to use a self-tapper sheet metal screw. And back here along these edges here, once everything's fit in, down underneath the car, back along the inner rocker, also along here, the tunnel. What I will do is I'll go about every inch, and I will have a screw in there holding that tight. Actually, what we like to do is we like to punch holes in there with a little metal punch. And then, again, screw that down, and as we weld them in, we pull the screws out, weld that shut. Then grind that off and go from there. So everything is going in. It is going to be solid, but one of the parts we were waiting on is this bracket here. That's for the rear subframe mount for the hole right there, for the bolt hole. It's got that bolt hole. It's got a little cage nut. Again, it was really hard to get the old one out. You spend 5 times the amount of money in labor cutting these out as it would be if you were just to buy them new. 39 bucks a piece, I think they were on that. I am waiting for the passenger side. So now that we got these things fitted in and we're going to move forward with the transmission tunnel, we are going to be using a used transmission tunnel. It is a 4-speed. This is the factory hole here. But if you see, I went ahead and marked all these little white circles. They all need to be welded shut. And of course, I'll just clean them off, weld them shut, put a piece of brass on the back of it, weld it shut, or however. Clean them up, and they'll never see them. I'll clean them up on top and bottom. You'll never see them. But it does have 4 factory holes here. And that is for your shifter boot. An automatic tunnel, you wouldn't have this here. I mean, you could cut a hole, but on the underside of it, it does have the brace. So that is a nice piece to have on there. And sometimes these parts are hard to find. So sometimes we've got to use used stuff. But with like I was saying, with all these circles, this is going to be where I'm going to be welding shut. Also, down along the front here, you see all these little white dots. And down along the edge here, this is where I need to clean welds off. Cut the welds off and get this tunnel cleaned up to make it look like that floor in there. So we got a little bit of work ahead of us on this tunnel. We're going to cut that down, or drill them spot welds out, cut this excess off here. We are going to fit it in here. Like I said, right in here. We're going to eliminate this big ugly hole here where you can stick your foot down through. And we're going to move forward. Once we get that in, we will fit the pans up against that. We will probably have to support this a little bit because we are starting to cut it apart and it's starting to get a little flimsy. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and pull this pan up. Bear with me 1 second. So we got that out, and what you're seeing underneath there, that is all the old metal that we've cut out of the floor. I just throw it under the car, and we will pull that out. But that is crazy. I mean, look at some of this stuff, guys. A lot of people don't realize how much metal is in one of these floors and cutting this out. But we are going to go ahead and clean up these edges, all these edges along here, and we'll be getting ready to weld them in. But in the meantime, right here, this bar goes from here over to the driver's side. And if you look, it's got little brackets down here. That is a crossmember bar for a ladder bar suspension. Back in the day, I guess when there was a drag car, they ran the ladder bar suspension. It's just the way they did them. So I'm actually going to eliminate that bar. It's not needed. Actually, it is pretty close, you know, to the exhaust and stuff. It wasn't like that in 67. We're going to clean it up. We are going to leave the frame connectors in here, give it a little extra support. They did a nice job on them. They just need cleaned up. It does have a drive loop up here. I'm undecided. I'm probably going to take that out as well. Again, this isn't a race car, but you have to drill holes up through your floors. And that's the last thing I want to do is drill extra holes in the floors if it's not needed. So I am going to discuss that with the customer, but more than likely, well, we'll be taking that out when we put that 4-speed in there. Prior to welding all this in, we will be cleaning all this up in here and giving, I'm getting tongue-tied again, giving this car a fresh coat of paint up here. Because once the floor pan's in, we can't get up in here and clean that up and paint it. So we just want to prevent any kind of future rust. So other than that, we're just going to continue to move forward. If you guys have any questions, any comments on how you would do this, please feel free to hit us up in the comment section. Again, if you're in the Chambersburg area, we are out here. I just actually opened up an Instagram account. So check out Instagram. That is under Wennington Speed and Metal. I'm not real familiar with this. I'm sorry, guys. When it comes to this social media, it's pretty tough for me because I've been out of the loop for so long. But anyhow, check us out on Instagram. Follow us. I'm going to have some videos on there. And also, check out our description here. We are going to put the address here for the shop because I have said if you're in the area and you guys want to stop by, say hi, whatever, show us your car, well, I'm going to have the address there. So, again, we're in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. I'll just give you here a little snapshot of one of the cars sitting out front of the shop here today. This is a 68 Pontiac Le Mans. Had a little bit of upgrades to it with the GTO spoiler and the GTO hood. So, let us see what you have. Stop by the shop. We'd love to see you guys. Love to hear from you. Again, thanks for your support. Like, subscribe, and share. You guys take care. We'll talk to you again. See ya.